Hello, hi, how are you doing? I checked your project requirements and I actually came up with a system for that. So basically, what the system is doing, here's the high level presentation of part of it. I'll go through it step by step and I hope I'll present everything clear to you. And in case you have anything that is not clear or anything that will not be presented clearly on this presentation, you can ask it on the chat. So let's start now. The system now starts with the webhook. That's basically a trigger now that comes from the Stripe API. That one you can set it up from the Stripe. So I'll show you if you're not conversant with that. Now once that trigger will be done on the system from the Stripe, and basically by this trigger is created when a payment is done and has been successful. So when a payment has been done and has been successful from the step, a trigger is done or a trigger is created on this system. Now, once that trigger has been created, this system extract invoice data from that webhook or from that trigger. And then basically the system what is doing on this element, this second element, their processing element, is basically presenting the Stripe invoice ID, the customer name and also the email, the billing address, invoice creation and the payment dates, line and lines other items such as description, quantity, unit price, tax rate, total amount of the entire invoice, and also the currency if at all is required in your other operations. So once that has been extracted, uh, um, a get request is created now on the on the next element, whereby now a search is made on the whole API whether that customer exists or not. Now, if that customer exists or not, another node is created now that determines if that particular client is present, or rather that customer exists in that particular whole API. That data is now passed into another processing element, which now again prepares the customer data. And uh, it's prepared in a way that now it can be now presented as a post request again to the to the to the to the whole API. Sorry for the interruption. Now, if the customer doesn't exist on the system or from the on the old API, the system goes ahead now to prepare that customer data in a way that now is understood by the old API. So once that data has been prepared by this system or by this processing element, then now is presented to the now get request that now the post request that now is now updating the whole lead API of the new data that doesn't exist in is existing um, records. If the customer, of course, exists, the system skips that space of, that step of preparing the customer data and now goes to the processing element, which now prepares the invoice data. Um, the invoice data that includes the formats of the data is needed for creating a new invoice. So the maps stripe line items to holders format, formats dates in form of that format, and also sets invoice status as paid. And then from there now, another element now post now creates another post request which now updates the invoice payment details. And then from there, the system as a bonus has an error handling elements, which of course now catch any elements that may occur during the processing of the elements through the entire process. And this, of course, can now be forwarded to your social interaction platforms such as Slack, email, or any other configuration or any other platform that you feel comfortable using to manage or monitor the performance of your system. So that's it. That's a basic high level presentation of this particular system. Unless you have anything else that is not clear on the implementation of your requirement. Thanks so much and see you on that call.